Welcome back to the channel, you guys. This is your girl, Wicked Raider, logging in, trying to do a little update on the 2023 account that we started just before New Year's Day. Actually, logging in, getting some compensation awards. Had a really great clan v clan. Kind of funny. My newest account, the first day of CBC, I logged in and I thought I didn't qualify. So nothing popped up for me. And then they did a couple of patches and a little maintenance there. And all of a sudden it popped up for me. So I was able to get 1 day of CBC in, which was pretty nice. Also had a chance to claim that promo code one, which was for Deacon Armstrong. I selected him. Use another account actually to collect Mordecai, which if you haven't heard of Mordecai, guys, an amazing champion. Deacon Armstrong is another one. I was really excited to get him early game. My clan did so well this time. I mean, first time for us to make it to milestone number 10. I was so excited. So just proud of each and every one of you guys that participated. I know a lot of us were kind of pushing. Didn't have as nearly as many resources as I normally do because there have been so many fusions. The fusion race was right before, so that had taken up a couple of weeks of play and so much, so many events, so many fusions. But I want to go in, and of course the rewards were really nice. We're now a level 6 clan, so that's pretty exciting. We're definitely moving there. New events starting. Dungeon Divers is going to be one, so this is going to take us actually kind of a nice little double dip trick when it comes to working through Spider, which should be interesting for a new account. So right now I have these two going. I'll be honest, I did this one pretty much because I had the opportunity, just kind of filling out my team, my new champions, trimmed it all the way down, guys. I took it all the way down. What I've been choosing to do so far for this account is sticking to the rules, trying to focus on my starting champ, leveling him up and getting him to 6-star. I've managed to get him 5-star, level 38 so far. Of course, I pulled Deacon Armstrong from the promo code. So really excited. This guy is an amazing champion overall. If you have not seen the skill sets, coming in with Mace of Contempt, attacks one enemy 2 times. Each hit has a 30% chance of placing Leech debuff for 2 turns. So nice to have that Leech, especially since Kel is our leading poison champion. Sweeping Retribution, and this is the skill actually that had me fall in love with this guy. Attacks all enemies, has an 80% chance of placing a 60% decreased defense debuff for 2 turns. And when I say this attack, guys, oh my gosh, damage can be increased by 15%. Deacon Armstrong can put up some little numbers. He is not going to be a absolute like Roscar the Tower. He kind of puts out for me, kind of take my rare that is 6-star, fully mastered, and then put a little baby critical on it. Like he can throw out some numbers. It's not going to be the most impressive, but time compression is another skill that's really good. Fills turn meter of all allies by 15% and decreases the turn meters of all enemies by 15%. A really good way to have the turn meter control. He can also grant that extra turn, which can help. He has the aura for 19% in battles for speed, of course. And then he has the ability to almost like default back to this Mace of Contempt in a couple of different areas. So I've been working masteries with these two. Guys, I've never, and this is account number, I don't know, 9 for me, I guess. Never. Just started a couple of months into raid overall. And this is probably the fewest champions I've had on an account in a long time, to the point I haven't even upgraded him because there's no one else left there. So kind of pushing there. So Deacon Armstrong is one. I have Wanderer still there. Pull this guy from a shard, and he's going to turn into food for me, of course. Now, Here's something else. Parts of the new update, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys have noticed this. There is a push by Plarium to get players to really log in on desktop. There is a huge push. And I am one of those, my pay to play account, 98% of the time, I play it on my device. Like it's what I do, in between breaks while I'm sitting in the car waiting on the kids, just whatever you have going on. But 98% of the time I am on mobile. It's actually one of the reasons why I chose um Raid over other games is because I could play it on mobile and play it on desktop. And I like both features. But what I normally do is I run my free to play accounts on desktop and then I run my pay to play on my phone. And what I've noticed, even with champion selection, even with rewards, and I'm coming here, get extra rewards by playing on Plarium Play. There's a huge push. So this will give you an additional 6 Plarium points, you know, look, 3 if I'm just on my phone, an additional 6. So it's like, oh, so you can triple your number. Now, what these are for, I haven't read all the way through just yet. Just been kind of keeping up with this part. It just keeps saying 12 minutes, but I, I, there's a part of me that wonders why the push for everyone to go, on Plarium Play. Like why the Plarium Play push. And a lot of us are doing this like if you're on the bus, if you're killing time, waiting for someone to show up just before I start my next set at the gym, whatever you have going on. And so that's kind of the thing. But it makes you also ask the question and kind of wonder, is there something else to this? Is there something else to this that I haven't really paid attention to? I haven't noticed. And here's another one, guys. There are so many things in the beginner update, but Play and Play was one of those popped into my head. But let's get to the update because we are so far in and I'm so off track. So I'm gonna hide these because sometimes they don't move. I noticed that here lately. I am level 27. So login wise, kind of seeing progression, not progression. Daily login rewards. We're up to day 6. So 6th day logging in. I am level 27, guys. I'll be honest, the first 15 levels of this game are really quick. You are usually pretty excited. You are pumping your way through campaign. Hopefully you're keeping up with your champions. At this point, I had decided which champions I was keeping, who would be treated as food. So, yes, I had to equip out, for example, Sniper. Most of you know one of my favorite champions in the game, especially for the level of champion she is, but love her, does some great damage. I know that I will be able to pull her from shards later on. I don't have to be stuck with that champion. And the same thing for War Maiden. War Maiden can be one of those that can be a really good champion as well. And so at level 27, I am now rocking with these 3. This guy is all maxed out. And so what I'm going to do, because I'm about to run campaign, I normally save my shards for CVC. But I'm going to be pulling these just to kind of fill out my team of 4 to 6 players. And yeah, Valerie will not be making the cut. One of those champions attacks one enemy, kind of a Bannerlord thing. Decreases duration of all debuffs on allies by 1 turn. This skill can be nice. I've seen it for more than 1 turn, of course. 25% increased attack. Okay. Places a shield buff on all allies for 2 turns. Value of the shield depends on this champion's level. Heals each ally according to the number of buffs they are currently under, and you can increase that shield by 20%. So a support champion. I don't currently have a support champion on this particular team. If I was going to pull someone, it wouldn't be Valerie. Let's just be honest. She's not going to be a top champion. I kind of hesitate sometimes to get rid of a support champion, especially when I don't have one. It's one of those things, guys. It comes in clutch, and when you need it to, when you need those extra points, a little bit of HP, that's going to be your next push. It's going to be a pretty important one. I need to actually come up with 3 additional champions so I can start upgrading. I know eventually I will want to upgrade both Deacon Armstrong and Kale. I want to 6-star those 2 champions first. I want to fully book them, fully master them. So they're kind of the focus of this team so far. That's to be the last shard. I kind of open these guys randomly. Everyone we pulled is prime food levels. And I'm going to exhibit some bad habits really quickly, but you already know. So I know I want to upgrade him. I have her. I am not just be holding to her. Since he's already level 2, I'm going to move this young lady first. So Preacher's going to be our first one. 1 brew, 3 other champions should be able to upgrade. So there'll be 4 champions, getting her to 2-star. You're going to earn those completion badges as you go pretty quickly, actually. Now, once I have these at 2, I can look here and very easily know what direction I want to go in next. And so I'm going to upgrade him. If I have the brews available, I will use those. Here in this example, I don't have the brews available. I probably should have upgraded, one of these to get that brew in. But these are champions I'm now just going to run through campaign to level them up and then use them as food later on as well. Guys, the biggest part of the grind, I think the first 30 levels for me are pretty quick. I think it's when you get around level 32 to 40, 45, the excitement of the game slows down quite a bit because that's when you are really in the throes of attempting to be able to actually get a 6-star champion. And you're thinking about how many times you have to level those champions up, how many times and how many runs you need through campaign. You're running lower level dungeons at this point, and so you're not getting the highest number of points ever in the world, but you're doing the best you can with what you have. Once again, player in point program. I think it's kind of interesting. I don't know if it's separate video interesting or just we're going to kind of learn it as we go interesting. So I'm going to run these champions. I have the energy for it and definitely have the time. I'll probably come back and try to do my faction wars if possible and clan boss. Guys, don't forget these areas. These are some good ones, especially in preparation for Doom Tower. I spent a lot of time in dungeons. I try to run all of my keeps each day is something else. And since I know I can go in and look directly at my champions, spirit is going to be one. I know this guy here. So green and blue is the other colors that I'm kind of emblazing in my mind. And those are going to be the first 2 areas. Those are going to be my main 2 areas to run. So I'm going to run these particular areas just to kind of see how we do, number 1, and also get those potions that I need to fully ascend my champions. Ascension is going to be easiest. Masteries is going to be your most time consuming, but you can also run food, which I will go back and do for these battles. If you're going to run these anyway, guys, run those other 2 slots with your food champions. They won't get a lot of XP, but at least they're getting it little by little just because you're trying to fight for progression. Progression is always a big one. Aiming to at least get to level 12, if not higher, when you are doing the low level farming. Just something to kind of keep in the back of your mind. You will get to the point after you've been doing faction wars for a little bit, you will have enough materials that when you finally unlock the forge, you get access to that better gear. Guys, don't rush in what type of gear you end up forging. That becomes really, really important. When I first got the forge, I was just so excited to have it. I went in and zeroed out every material that I had the first time, and that was not the greatest idea. Now I'm looking at this one. I forgot to switch the position of these 2 around, which is something that I should have done, and I did not. And I was thinking, yeah, we're not going to win this one. I was get stuck on this level. If there's a spirit affinity for the boss at a particular level, those are usually my ones that take the longest. And it's because right here, we need the healing and we need a little bit more control over this good old turn meter. So they should switch positions and I'm going to need a little bit more support on this one. And so this is what we've been doing, just kind of filling it out, seeing what we can do, getting him up to level, not looking for this support, but making sure. Now, let's do a comparison really quick. We are streaming anyway, so why not? The amount of damage that Kel is doing is right at 255, and I want to play around with position really quickly. And so you see the position. This guy has no gear on him because I know I'm not going to keep him. So I'm not going to gear him out. I'm going to switch the position of these two. Yeah, we're going to switch those positions and we're going to try this again. Kel was at 255, and I want to see if it makes a difference with this position for him. I think that it will definitely strengthen the team a little bit. And the order is going to be a lot better. But this is one of those where having a Diabolus, for example, would be really nice. Having a Marquez on the team, a Madame Ceres maybe. So many turn meter manipulators that Athenasil would be nice even. I would love the Verges for the defensive boost with a lot of these particular keeps would be, I think would be a lot easier. And that's what it is. It's just that turn meter, so it doesn't really matter. I was hoping it was gold. They were a little bit quicker and could hit a little bit harder, then it would be a lot better. But that part is not quite happening. And that revitalize is getting us every single time. So that passive is pretty nasty. He may do more damage, but he's definitely not going to survive this one. So we'll be defeated again. And what I'll do is I'll go back in and drop down in levels, probably 2 levels, and then run this team again. I like to run them once before I set my multi-battles, and then I let them run their set number. If you are limited to your 30 or 40 per day, yeah, it's not gonna make a big difference in position. For multi-battles, I would at least give 10 or so each time to the keeps, only because it becomes more and more important. So I'm going to do 20 battles back to back to back. They'll continue. This just allows me to kind of stockpile and have what I need for the champions that I'm actually using. They're going to run this particular level pretty quickly. Now, it's a spirit level, did drop down 3 levels to just where the cutoff is. And I do it for a couple of reasons. Number one, they should run this, boom, 15 seconds. Best time so far, not bad at all. And so they'll run these 20 battles in maybe 5 minutes, which isn't bad. And so it's a much easier way to farm. You're going to get about the same product, maybe minus 1 higher potion, which for these 2 champions won't really make a difference. I know Deacon Armstrong will need a little bit more. So this is a good hit for us here, but 15 seconds, you cannot beat that. Guys, it's tempting sometimes to push yourself to really want to be at the highest level possible as you're trying to farm. You want the max XP, but keep in mind, if you are campaign farming and you get to a point where you're not winning, you're losing, 20, 30, 40% of your battles, don't hesitate to drop down a couple of levels. This is worth it for the time. I never thought I would see a moment where I could run keeps in less than a minute. I remember, and a lot of you are like this, the first time you made it to 12-7 in campaign. It was like, are you serious? Am I supposed to be able to beat this with just like a whole team could barely survive, let alone 2 champions only. And now you have champions that can literally solo these levels. To be offered some of the champions, the epic champions that we have access to now at such early stages, Deacon Armstrong will by far absolutely change my account. When I acquire Rhonda on tomorrow, I am so excited, guys. So I'll get Rhonda. And can you imagine running a team? All I need is a really, really, really strong support. And this will be a solid early game team. I will have Kale, I will have Deacon Armstrong, Rhonda, and then in a beautiful world, I would end up with Dur the Hungerer. Oh my gosh, I would lose my mind if I pulled Dur the Hungerer on this account. Lose my mind. Favorite support champion so far. There are others, but nobody quite does it like Dur the Hungerer by far. But a good support with this team, and I could do pretty good. And my goal is to work on 6-star my champions as I am pushing them through dungeons. I want to hit Ice Golem. I want to create a team that, works well and is able to finish those areas. I want full masteries. It has taken me such a long time. Now, I'm going to go through with the 2023 accounts, this account in particular, and use it as a template to break down all the areas of the game. So go through every keep, every dungeon in general, talk about faction wars, Doom Tower, go through, even promo codes and talk about referral links, like every section of the game, the flexibility of the market compared to the bazaar, compared to the clan area, just there are a lot of parts of Raid. And as a new player, especially starting out, it's like so much stuff. I can remember starting and even with Arena, it kept saying, well, do you want to, upgrade or refill? And I'm like, oh yeah, I can refill coins. And I'm just clicking like, sure. And then I started refilling, but I wasn't waiting until I actually fought 10 battles before the refill. I would still have 3 or 4 left. And I'm like, oh, I'll just refill it now. Not reading and seeing you're losing coins while doing this. I have made the mistake of leaving multi-battles running and just losing out on not only gear, just losing battle after battle because I forgot to uncheck the box. So many things, so many things. I'm going to finish running out these battles, run a little campaign, or yeah, I guess I'll go ahead and run a little campaign. I thought about running Minotaur's Labyrinth just for masteries for these guys, which I did with Kale and Deacon. But if I have enough gems, I'll actually probably go for another set of shards. Would be nice. I do want to push for that support champion, but it'll happen when it happens. Guys, let me know, how is your 2023 account going so far? January's been really, really good. Also, if you did not get the promo code for Mordecai, Deacon Armstrong, go back one video for me. I'll try to tag that at the end. And that may be working out for you is always worth it. I know if you check Hell Hades, has a awesome website where you can go in and get information about champions, and we'll visit some of those as well, just to kind of give you a couple of avenues and resources that you can go through and figure out what's going to be best for your account and your team. It has been great as always to kind of stop in with you guys, and hey, happy gaming.